It's very hard to describe the moment because in our case, we knew that the prosecution case had fallen apart. We knew we'd done a great job, but you're reliant on 12 ordinary people. Until you hear the words, you can't call it. And at that point, it's indescribable the way in which you jump between two universes.
In June, after being acquitted of fraud in the United States, British businessman Mike Lynch expressed disbelief, saying the outcome was so improbable it felt like he had jumped universes. He acknowledged that if the verdict had gone the other way, it would have marked the end of his life as he knew it. In an alternate reality, Lynch, often called the British Bill Gates, would have spent the week on his 2,300-acre Suffolk estate, tending to his cherished red poll cattle, sheep, and Gloucestershire Old Spot pigs. His mornings would have started with a long, hot bath, which he referred to as his thinking time, followed by walking the family's 2 dachshunds and 4 sheepdogs in the crisp autumn air. Mike, his wife Angela, and their daughters, Hannah, 18, and Esme, 21, would have attended the Cliveden Literary Festival in Berkshire, where he was set to speak on artificial intelligence and the future of technology. The family had frequented the festival for years, often taking Hannah, a passionate young poet, to hear her favorite authors. In a few weeks, they would have proudly driven Hannah to Trinity College, Oxford, where she had earned a place to study English literature. But that future never materialized. Instead, Angela Lynch now finds herself in a different universe, one defined by unbearable tragedy. Just over a month ago, her husband and youngest daughter, Hannah, were among 7 people who died when the family's £30 million yacht, Bayesian, sank off the coast of Sicily. A powerful storm struck the vessel in the early hours of the morning, and the circumstances around the yacht's sinking remain unclear. The captain and 2 crew members are under investigation for possible manslaughter, and divers continue searching the wreck for answers about how a vessel deemed unsinkable could have gone down so swiftly. Disturbing details have since emerged about the final moments of those who perished. 6 of the victims, including Mike and Hannah, were found below deck, having suffocated due to a lack of oxygen rather than drowning. Angela, who survived the ordeal, is devastated, while investigators are painstakingly trying to understand what went wrong. Angela and Esme, who was not on the trip, are now grappling with the loss of both husband and father, as well as daughter and sister. This grief has been further compounded by a new legal battle. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, HP, has filed a $4 billion, £3.02 billion damages claim against Mike Lynch's estate. Mike had been embroiled in a fraud case for years, stemming from his 2011 sale of the tech company Agony to HPE. While he was acquitted of criminal wrongdoing in the US, a civil case in the UK ruled in 2022 that he had likely been aware of accounting irregularities at Agony and was liable for damages. Although there had been speculation that HPE might drop the claim after Mike's death, its CEO, Antonio Neri, confirmed earlier this month that the company would proceed. Neri stated that HP was acting in the best interests of its shareholders and that the alleged misconduct from a decade earlier could not be ignored. The news has sparked outrage among Mike's colleagues and friends, who have criticized HP as heartless for pursuing legal action against a grieving widow. One close family friend remarked, "Hard choices are deciding which coffins to bury your husband and daughter in. There are easy choices, like settling the civil action and ceasing to torment a widow who has lost so much." Angela, still recovering from injuries sustained in the yacht disaster, returned to the family's 16th-century farmhouse in Suffolk 2 weeks after the tragedy. Villagers have seen her in nearby pedestry, sometimes in a wheelchair, as she recovers physically and emotionally. Friends, like longtime family friend Andrew Cantor, have been by her side, offering support. Cantor, who had known Mike for over 25 years, struggles to come to terms with the loss of a friend he spoke to nearly every day. He and others praise Angela's strength of character, describing her as a woman who, despite the devastation, has been remarkably resilient. Angela, born in the U.S. to Colombian parents, had stayed out of the limelight during her husband's legal battles. A businesswoman in her own right, she had worked under her maiden name, Baccares. Despite the weight of Mike's legal troubles, the family had remained focused on their daughter's successes. Esme, a physics student at Imperial College London, shares her father's love for science, while Hannah, a gifted writer, had worked tirelessly to secure her place at Oxford. Hannah had joined her parents on the yacht to celebrate her outstanding A-level results, which she received just 4 days before her death. Described as a luminous young woman by her teachers, she had a passion for literature and excelled in her studies. A strong swimmer, she had reassured her parents that if they ever got into trouble on the water, she would save them. Tragically, she did not have the chance. The family had made scenic tours of the Gulf of Naples aboard Bayesian before. On August 18th, the yacht left the Sicilian port of Cefalù and dropped anchor near the fishing village of Porticello. But by 5 a.m. the following morning, disaster struck. A sudden, violent storm hit the yacht, and locals suspected downburst, a tornado-like wind, as the likely cause. Investigators are considering various possibilities, including open-access hatches, a destabilized mast, or improper anchorage, but no conclusions have yet been drawn. Angela likely survived because she was awake at the time, woken by the yacht tilting and stepping onto the deck to investigate. Former Captain Stephen Edwards, who helmed the yacht for 5 years, says Angela was always quick to respond to unusual sounds aboard. Her presence on deck might have saved her life, but friends say she now carries immense guilt for having survived when Mike and Hannah did not. In the weeks since the tragedy, the focus has shifted to the memories of Mike Lynch. Friends and family in Suffolk remember him as a humble man with a deep love for his animals and his community. He was a storyteller, a music enthusiast, and a man of great warmth, who never lost touch with his roots despite his immense wealth and success. As the investigation continues, and with the threat of a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit looming, Angela and Esme face an unimaginable future, marked by profound loss and relentless legal battles. For them, life without Mike and Hannah is an endless series of painful milestones, each one more agonizing than the last.
And the issue here is not minimizing risk, it's risk for return. So be very, very careful of the modern corporate culture, which is all about overanalysis. Sometimes you have to have a leap of faith. And one little trick I've found is separate the two. Have 10 minutes of your meeting, which is about why this idea will work. What's the upside here?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more updates on celebrity deaths and news updates.